Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats?
I don't have to answer these questions.
The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
Hate speech views on Elon Musk's X platform have plummeted, yet Don Lemon still tried to push a false narrative. Musk didn't flinch. He dismantled Lemon's arguments with cold, calculated precision, leaving no room for debate. Let's dive into this ultimate display of dominance. From the outset, it was clear this wasn't going to be a friendly sit-down. Don Lemon, attempting to claw back his relevance after his dramatic exit from CNN, entered the conversation armed with the same tired-wake arguments that had alienated many of his viewers. Lemon's plan seemed transparent: corner Musk with insinuations, loaded questions, and divisive rhetoric, hoping to catch him off guard. But here's the thing about Musk: he thrives under pressure. Whether he's launching rockets or dismantling outdated narratives, Musk doesn't just engage in debates, he dismantles them entirely. As Lemon tried to set traps, Musk navigated around them effortlessly, exposing not just the flaws in Lemon's arguments but the fragility of the entire woke narrative. Every time Lemon tried to bait Musk, it was like watching a game of chess where one player was always 3 moves ahead. Musk's responses weren't just logical, they were razor-sharp, cutting through the noise with ease. The tension in the room was palpable as Musk refused to be derailed, staying laser-focused on exposing the hollowness of Lemon's approach. It quickly became evident that this wasn't a conversation. It was a complete unmasking of Lemon's tactics, leaving his arguments hanging by a thread. One of the most explosive moments came when Don Lemon went for broke, accusing Elon Musk of promoting harmful rhetoric with his tweets. Lemon tried to tie Musk's criticisms of open border policies to the Great Replacement Theory, a concept often hijacked by extremists. Musk didn't even blink. Instead of stooping to Lemon's level, he delivered a calm, precise response that left no room for doubt.
Do you think if you moderated yourself more, if there was better content moderation on the platform, that you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats?
I don't have to answer these questions.
The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
He broke it down. Critiquing immigration policy is not inciting violence, so why conflate the two in such a reckless way? Musk didn't need to shout or throw insults. His measured, logical rebuttal did all the work. With each word, he stripped Lemon's argument down to the hollow framework it was, exposing how sensationalist claims like these don't solve anything but instead fuel unnecessary division. Musk's restraint and composure didn't just deflect Lemon's attack. It made it look desperate and amateurish. What made this moment particularly badass was how Musk turned the tables on Lemon. Instead of defending himself, Musk highlighted the danger of conflating criticism with extremism. He reminded Lemon and the audience that free speech includes the right to question policies without being labeled a radical. This wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a direct challenge to the woke culture of silencing dissent through exaggerated accusations. Lemon, visibly rattled, struggled to recover as Musk continued to expose the flaws in his argument. It was a stark reminder that truth and logic will always trump sensationalism. As the interview progressed, Lemon tried to shift the focus to content moderation on X, accusing Musk of allowing hate speech to flourish. Lemon cited studies claiming that hate speech on the platform had increased since Musk took over, but Musk was ready.
You recently called content moderation, though, a digital chastity belt. Do you think that you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform?
I think we have a responsibility to adhere to the law, and we have a responsibility to be transparent about when things are shown, why they're shown. That's why we open source our algorithm. I think once you start going beyond the law, now you're putting your thumb on the scale.
Musk absolutely tore Lemon's argument apart, exposing just how weak the foundation of his claims really was. He didn't just dismiss the studies Lemon waved around, he shredded them, pointing out that they relied on flawed methodologies and ignored crucial metrics like how many people actually saw the supposed hate speech. Musk wasn't about to let vague accusations slide, and he drove his point home by showing that while isolated posts might exist, the visibility of such content had significantly dropped under his leadership. Lemon, clearly not expecting such a detailed takedown, scrambled to defend himself by doubling down on those studies, but it wasn't working. Musk had already made it clear. Relying on cherry-picked data and buzzwords wasn't going to cut it. He explained that X's content moderation policies focus on adhering to the law while prioritizing transparency. How do you strike a balance between protecting free speech and ensuring a safe environment? For Musk, it's about sticking to principles and rejecting performative outrage. Lemon's repeated attempts to frame Musk as reckless only highlighted his failure to grasp the nuances of the issue. The tension reached new heights when Lemon tried to make the conversation personal. He implied that Musk's success was a product of privilege, suggesting that his achievements wouldn't have been possible without societal advantages. Musk, unshaken, responded with both wit and wisdom.
We want to look to the future rather than the past. And instead of engaging in constant rehashing of the past, because in fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
But what future do we want? Is this something we want to make a part of our constant dialogue forever, or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone according to just who they are as an individual?
I agree with you with that. That's the ideal. But what the evidence shows is that that's not what's actually in practice.
I think we're doing better than anywhere else.
That's true. I agree with that. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
What advantages did my color of my skin give me?
Well, there's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here as slaves.
For me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making that the central thing, it will never go away.
Well, why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact. I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
Musk didn't shy away from acknowledging systemic challenges, but he refused to dwell on victimhood. Instead, he shifted the focus to empowerment, urging people to recognize their potential and take charge of their success. His words completely flipped the tone, standing in stark contrast to Lemon's focus on blame and identity-driven grievances. This moment wasn't just about exposing the cracks in Lemon's argument. It showed the massive gap between their worldviews. He urged people to look ahead, prioritize solutions, and stop dwelling on past injustices. Perhaps the most jaw-dropping moment came when Lemon accused Musk of radicalizing Americans through his tweets. Lemon claimed that Musk's posts about immigration policies were inspiring violent behavior, a serious accusation that required serious evidence. But Lemon had none. Musk, visibly unimpressed, called out the lack of journalistic integrity in making such a baseless claim. He emphasized that accusations without evidence not only undermine the accused but also erode trust in the media as a whole. He went on CNN to accuse Musk of spreading dangerous rhetoric, doubling down on the same baseless claims he made during their conversation.
That sort of rhetoric that he talks about, the Great Replacement Theory and a migrant invasion, that's what radicalized shooters use in their manifestos, those exact words. The people who go and shoot up people, whether they be Latino people who live in Texas or black people who are in a supermarket in Buffalo, or Jewish people who are worshiping, those people use the same rhetoric, that they are tropes, that they're either racist for Latinos or black people or for Jewish people. And I wanted to know if he felt any responsibility as someone who has one of the largest social media and information platforms in the world.
A quarter billion people.
A quarter billion people. I think it's 455 or 500 million users a week. And it doesn't seem that he feels that he has any responsibility with that, because he seemed really averse to facts, that facts did not matter to him. It didn't matter that he retweeted things that were offensive to people.
The irony of Lemon's position was glaring. How could the same Don Lemon, who lost his career at CNN over offensive remarks about women not being in their prime, now advocate for censorship and accountability for others? Yet there he was, sidestepping responsibility for his own words while demanding it from others. The stark contrast between Musk's integrity and Lemon's opportunism couldn't have been more evident. Elon Musk doesn't just criticize the woke mind virus, he obliterates it. And when faced with it, Musk doesn't flinch. He dismantles it with unshakable confidence and brutal precision.
Let's talk about trans rights and the woke mind virus, because you talk about that a lot. You're right about that a lot on the thing. You have been deeply outspoken about the issue of trans rights. You posted trans rights. You posted that pronouns in bio mean the woke mind virus ate your brain. Do you know what the term woke actually means?
It's come to mean a lot of things.
But what originally it was meant to mean. It's just being aware of inequities in society and being aware of facts and history.
I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course. But trying to blame everything trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
Even as it relates to trans issues, which is what I'm...
Yeah, race or, gender or whatever.
You think that society blames everything on racism now?
It blames a lot of things on it, and yeah.
You think that's unfair?
Yeah.
Why?
I think we should not make this a constant subject. I think we need to move on.
Take his exchange with Don Lemon, for example. Musk didn't entertain the tired blame game or identity politics. Instead, he flipped the script, making it clear that constantly framing every issue around race or gender only fuels resentment and stalls real progress. His message? Stop playing the victim, focus on your potential, and take control of your future. Musk doesn't just preach empowerment. He embodies it. It's impossible to ignore the ripple effect of this interview. While Lemon clung to tired narratives of blame and outrage, Musk stood firm on principles like free speech, personal responsibility, and transparency, offering a perspective that felt refreshing and real. By the end, Musk didn't just win the debate. He raised the bar, showing how real conversations can inspire unity and forward-thinking ideas instead of dragging people further apart. If this epic clash has you fired up, don't just sit back. Hit like and smash that subscribe button, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Was Musk's takedown legendary or what? Let your voice be heard and stay tuned for more fiery debates, jaw-dropping moments, and unbeatable takedowns.